All right, well, we've got these nice spiffy 420 frame clamps. It is verified that this is a 420 frame, which will work out on here all fine and dandy with our adjuster modification. We did find when we were going to tap out the rollers, which we put one roller on, we have one stuck bolt. This one was also broken off in there. That came out real nice. This one, I'm going to weld a nut. And then we're going to try and pull it through this way. Okay, well, there you go. Welded the nut on. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. So I think we'll set it back on the sawhorses and tap out the bolts. Tap out the holes for those clamps. Do it up in the air instead of crawling around. We're going to have to put the rollers on over there because it gets ridiculously heavy by the time you get done with all of that. So we'll tap out some bolts here. Well, here's our old idler, and there's a new one. Well, new used. That one is really nice. So our idea is we're gonna cut that nut off. We're gonna use this assembly, use the assembly that was on there with this idler, and we got these spiffy axles with bushings. Couple of seals thrown in there too. So we will use that to finish the side we have off, and we also acquired this in case we need anything for the other side or anything in the future. It's got a set of springs, it's got a set of adjusting rods. They'd have to have a die run down them, but they will work. Springs are good. Idler is really good. So that's what we got up to here. Holes are all tapped out. This video is probably going to go over a few days. We're going to get the rollers on and get it hanging after work tomorrow, I hope. And we will continue from there. But we're back in business. Things are going pretty good. Okay, we put the rollers on this frame. Everything tapped out. I put a torque wrench on these. I had a couple of thin. That one there just, it felt like it was gonna strip. Everything else went pretty good. I had a couple of thin fine thread nuts, so we put a little backup on there. We'll watch them. We run it the first few times, make sure everything stays tight. So now we're going to get our little clamps and hang it on there. Well, we got another bit of a problem here. Our 420 clamps a little bit wider. We cannot get centered on this sprocket. So we're gonna have to try and take that rusty old thing off. I guarantee those bolts are gonna break. So do we need that? No, not necessarily. I guess we're gonna see what happens here. Well, it is starting to look like a crawler again, kind of. Believe it or not, those bolts came loose and we just walked it in. Got everything lined up. Nice and straight down. I can't see much from here, but all nice and straight and lined up. Everything's torqued down tight. A plan shall be to, like I said, we're going to try to get this one apart, put a new axle and bushings in it. Hopefully the seals are good. If not, I do have a couple, but I'm trying to save those. I'll put that other idler on it right there. So I got one more day of work and then I'm off for 5, so this thing's gonna get done. We'll get this track put on, track it back and forth, make sure everything's all lovely and stays straight, and then we gotta knock the master pin out of this one and pull that final so we can fix that linkage in there. I wouldn't have to, it's pretty good, but I don't want to. I'm way behind on the wood making. We got to make a lot of wood next winter. We don't want it to come apart next winter. We can test it out on some muddy manure around here first. But all right, well, like I said, this one's going to go a few days and we'll splice it together. Maybe I can get some high speed on some of this. And we'll see you when we come back here. Alright, before we cut this axle off of here, we're going to give it a couple of attempts. We'll put some heat to that nut. And then we'll try it. We tried it clamped in a vise here. It still turns. So we'll put a little heat on it. We'll see what happens.
have a 40, a 50, and a 60. Then we need a 70 and an 80. Look, all we need to do. You should be fine.
That wasn't even bad. I don't know if we can get those Allen head cap screws out of there. Actually, should fall out the other side. I might not even have to pull those. All right, we'll start into this rebuild a little bit and bring you back. Well, we did it again. This is a 420 idler. I did not know there was a difference. So that's not going to work that way. Apparently, they have a bigger axle and a bigger bushing, or bigger bushings and the same axle. I don't know. Even the spacing for the seal plate there is different. However, we have, this is a 40 idler, which is in lovely condition, the idler itself. The rest of it, not so much. I would rather use my adjusters and springs. So I guess we got to see if this will come apart and what it's like inside, if we got to change axles, or I mean, if this one's good and tight inside, we'll clean it up and put it together. But this one's been laying in the dirt somewhere for quite a while. Might need more heat. All right, so it's been, I don't know, probably 2 hours since I talked to you last. We've got an idler. So this is the one that, these are our original springs and the carrier. We put that idler that we got on there. We had a few problems with this assembly. The axle and the bushings in this idler were really, really good. We got no slop anywhere. She's lovely. Absolutely lovely. This side's never been this good since I had this crawler. So tomorrow morning we should be able to roll the track in here. I don't know how many parts I'm going to make for this video. Probably be 2 anyway. I've been filming a bunch of stuff. I gotta splice it together, but we'll probably make 2 videos out of it. So there we go, 40 crawler. Getting closer.